Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the processes of getting admission for your children if you are moving them from one school to another school, or perhaps they are starting school for the first time. And that's because my daughter just finished her BECE in July and she will be going into her senior secondary school. So technically what it means is that in Nigeria, where I come from, when a child finishes her JHS exam, either she continues in that school or maybe the parents just want her to go to another school, then there's a change. But the whole system is such that it is from JHS 1 to SS3. But here in Ghana, that's not the case, and that's because of how the educational system is here. So she's moving from JHS 3 to SS1, and as a parent I have to look for that school for her to pivot into. Aside her, my other daughter is also changing her school, and that means I need to get an admission for her in another school. She is moving from basic 5 to basic 6, and I decided to do that because I wasn't getting what I signed up for in that in her previous school. Now the thing is that, was she doing very well in that school? She was. As a matter of fact, in her previous class, which is basic 5, she was the class captain. And let me tell you guys the truth, I did not have a hand in her becoming class captain. She just came back one day and told me that they were voting after they had selected a number of them. They were voting and the class chose her, and the criteria they set to pick students were based on their academic performance, based on their character and whatnot, and the class chose her. That's to tell you that she's good to go. But I wasn't getting what I wanted, so I decided with her father that we were going to change her school. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about the processes, the details, everything that is involved in admission, and I will be starting with the younger one, which is Loveline, who is moving to basic 6, and from then I will move into Marvelous, who is going into SS1. So before we go into the depth of this video, guys, this is my own personal experience. What I would love to know your own experience, whatever it is or however way it played out for you. So guys, I did not just wake up today and say that I was going to be changing Loveline from her school to another school. It's something that I had thought about for the past 2 years, and I told myself I needed to do it before she gets to secondary school. As a parent, I feel that once you enter into secondary school, this is another area, another level of your life, and you can only succeed if your foundation is solid. Foundation here, I mean, if your primary education is solid. And to an extent, I didn't feel she was getting that solid education that would help her stand out in secondary school, although they were teaching to the best of their knowledge. But as a parent, I knew what I was looking for, so I wasn't getting it, and I decided to change her. So I started looking for schools that I know she would get that education here in Ghana, and I came up with a number of schools. Unfortunately, the schools that I had picked out for her were not within our location. That was my number one problem. They were not around our location, but I had done my research and I'd seen that she was going to get that extra, whatever it was that I was looking for. And I told myself, it's either she continues here and I face whatever I am facing, or I readjust certain things. So out of the schools that I had outlined, I picked out about 3 or 4 of them, and I started giving them a call as a third term of this academic session that just ended, and they all told me that admission was on hold as against the new academic session, which was going to be in September. No, I started calling them from second term. That was early this year, not third term. I started calling them from second term because I'm this kind of person that I love to be very proactive. I started calling them as at second term, but they told me that unless of course I wanted her to come and complete primary 5, basic 5 there, but that was not the case. So they told me that I had to hold on till when the session is over. And when the session was almost over, I called the schools again and they all gave me a date to come for the interview. And this is the thing, if you are going for an interview, it means that you are going to pay for admission technically. So what I did was that of all the schools that I had called, I decided to pick a particular school amongst all of them that I know was going to meet my needs. And I called the school and they told me that they were going to be vacating around August 1st. So after August 1st, I could bring her for, test. But she hadn't vacated as at August 1st. She vacated August 15th. And immediately after August 15th, I took her for the test interview or whatever is being called. And guys, this is exactly what happened when we took her for the interview. So when I got there, we were told to pay a 300 Ghana cedis for admission fee, which we did, and she was told to write a test. Now this test was going to determine whether she was going to proceed to the next class or she would have to repeat the primary 5 which she had ended. And thank God my baby girl wrote the test and she scaled it through. Unfortunately, that day when she wrote the test, we couldn't, see the result. I was told to go and come back the following day, which I did. And I was told to go and come back the following day because it was already past closing time. She finished the test around 2 o'clock and school had closed. Mind you, as at that time, it was already holiday. So it technically meant that most of the staff were not in school, which inclusive the principal of the school. So I couldn't get to see her result and see the principal. So I was told to come back the following day, which I did. Now the following day when I was going, I took her past results. I'm talking about primary 2. I could lay my hands on primary 2, primary 3, primary 4, and of course primary 5. So I took, let's say from primary 2, I took maybe first or second term like that alongside with me, and I went and met the principal. It was at the principal's office I was showed the result of the test that she had written, and my baby girl smashed the test. She scaled it very well. And the principal told me the reason why they love to write this test, they love the kids to write this test, is so that they know their strengths, they know their weaknesses, and they know whether they should go up or they should remain where they are. And going by her results, he sees that she's doing very well. I'm going to try and insert the copy of results from her primary 2, 3, 4, and 5. Unfortunately, the one she wrote for the school, the placement, they said it's the school's, property, so I wasn't going to be giving that. But my daughter was above 80 in the test, so she was to move to primary 6. Now this is where the deal starts. From the principal's office, I was told to go back to the admission office, the administrative office, where I was going to be given the tuition fee for the new academic session, or rather, since it's a new academic session, I was going to be given the fee for the first term, and the fee for the first term includes the tuition fee, how all of this. I'm going to insert the bill. Unfortunately, guys, or should I say, I wouldn't be able to give the name of the school for security reasons and all of that, but I will put the post of the tuition fee and everything, which is inclusive of the school uniform, the books, textbooks. I had to get them today. So school resumed today, September 1st, which for a class 6, books and textbooks, exercise books, and all of that, it cost me about 1,000 Ghana cedis. Now this is the average price for tuition fee in Ghana. You could get something less. Average price, meaning that you can get something higher than this, you can get something lower than this. But at the end of the day, it's your own choice as a parent, and whatever it is that you are looking out for. So we paid for the tuition fee, the uniform, the books, and we were told that the feeding fee is going to cost us about 15. It's going to cost us 15 cedis, not about, straight to the point, 15 cedis a day, and they are going to be giving them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, according to what they say. hopefully today when she comes back, I'm going to know exactly what the meal is all about. And of course, I was given a form to fill, which are her basic details, her health, and everything that has to do with her. So for basic school, this is just about how it goes. And let's move over to Marvelous, who is going to SS1. So immediately after her BECE, I didn't see any reason why she should be at home, because I just feel that an idle mind is the enemy's work too. And I didn't want her perambulating. I didn't want a situation whereby, because she's idle, so to say, of course she cannot be idle in my house, but of course, she wouldn't really have that academic stuff to do. And I did not see any skills acquisition at the moment that I wanted her to be going to attend. As a matter of fact, I'd already planned that when she's done with her BEC, I was going to enroll her for a personal development course on Udemy. But because I was seeking admission for her in a private school, things changed. So when she finished her BECE, I already knew that she wasn't going to be going to government school. I had from day one told myself that she wasn't going to go to a government school, and that's because of certain, personal reasons. You can go check my video where I talked about should parents, choose courses for their kids. As a parent, I am of the opinion that you should, direct your kid in the path that they should take, because left for them, they might, pick that one choice that might not go well for them in the future. So that aside, I decided that I was going to, engage her and, choose that course for her. So I decided to, choose the private school for her, because this is not here to rubbish any school, but I feel that what I am looking for as a parent for my daughter, I was going to be getting it in a private school. And it was not just about any private school, a good private school. And just like I was searching for a school for Loveland, actually Loveland school had my decision to go with this particular school had to do with Marvelous also, because when I chose this particular private school for Marvelous, I decided that, if this school was this good, based on my research, then the primary or the basic school was that good, and Loveland could also go to the school. And coming home wouldn't be a problem. They are both going to be day students. Now the setting of the school is such that you get the crèche to the basic 6, then the JHS 1 to SS3. They are not all in the same, compound, but they are in the same location. From the basic school, it's about 5 minutes walk to the higher school, that is the JHS 1 to SS3. And I decided that, okay, so Loveland was going to go to that school so that when she's done, she would proceed to the secondary school. Now, I chose this particular school for Marvelous because the school does, prepare kids for IELTS, TOEFL, and, all those international exams that it's really advisable that kids of this day, this generation must take. So that, by the way, how did the admission process go? As usual, I picked particular schools, and this was the one I settled for. I was calling them, and they told me that the child in question needed to finish her BECE, and when she's done, we can come over to the school, which they wrote in July 8th to 15th. Immediately, Marvelous was done with her BECE. Off to the school I went, and they told me that she would need to come for a pre-SHS class that week. And I was like, no, she just finished her BEC. At least let her have 1 week to rest. Because let me tell you guys, from January 1st till she ended her BEC, there was no rest for her. The school was drilling them. She would get up, go early to school, come back home around 6:37. She was going to school Saturdays, Sundays. I was like, but then it just had to be done. So I told them she needed to rest for 1 week, and I was going to bring her the following week for the pre-SHA class. So how was the process? We were told to pay 400 Ghana cedis for the pre-SHS class, which was supposed to run for 1 month. And after that 1 month, when school is supposed to resume, we were going to pay for admission fee and all of that. So as at the moment, she has done the pre-SHA class, SHS class. Tomorrow, which is September 3rd, she's going to be going for a test. The test is going to determine which class she will be going to. When I say class, if she's going to be going to science, social science, business, and all of that. But honestly speaking, guys, I want her to go to a science class, and I know she's going to go to that science class. So as of now, we have paid her tuition fee, because we have been told to pay for the tuition fee, because either ways she's going to get the admission. So when I paid for the admission, I was given a form to fill, her details, my attestation to paying of fees on time, and of course attending PTA meetings. And she was given a code of conduct where she's going to have to study the rules and the regulation of the school. And after that, I was supposed to attach her last 2 results, which is her JHS 3 first term and second term, because school resumes September 10th, and as of September 10th, her BECE result is not going to be out. And remember, she's going to be taking a test, which is also going to help in guiding them, in directing her to the class which she is supposed to go. So we have settled all of that. So what is the admission, not the admission, the tuition fee? Once again, like I said, it's the same school that Marvelous is going with Loveling. So I'm not going to drop the name of the school, but I'm going to leave the cost implication to get an admission into this school, which I would say might be affordable to some people, which might not be affordable to some people. If we want to honestly speak, I think it's an average tuition fee in Ghana, in Accra or in Kaswa. Yeah. So guys, school resumes today for Loveling, and they are supposed to report to school latest 7:30. School closes 3 o'clock. There are no extra classes, which I think is perfecto. I asked if there's going to be an extra class for Marvelous when school resumes, and I was told no, that the school doesn't believe in extra classes, because this child comes to school as early as 7:30, closes at 3 o'clock. When does the child have to do other things? Besides, the school is a boarding school, but she's not going to be a boarder, she's going to be a day student. And because they have to follow the pattern or the system of how a typical day goes, there's really no need for extra classes, because they don't want to disrupt the boarding system. If you insist on having an extra class for your child, that will be based on your own conversation with the teachers or whoever you need to discuss about. So that is medium. I feel it's okay for me. If my daughter is getting up as early as 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock to prepare for school, and it's closing at 3 o'clock, there's really no need for her to do extra class. If I think there's need for that, then on weekends I could as well get her a teacher at home to put her through. So guys, this is basically what it entails, getting an admission for your child or your children in a Ghana school. It's basically just like how it is obtainable back home in Nigeria. The fee can somewhat be compared to what it is back home in Nigeria. So if you're coming from Nigeria, if you're coming from any other country with kids, this is a rough estimate of what you can budget for schooling for your kids. Now for Marvelous, who is going to private school, feeding fee is not compulsory, but there's a canteen in the school, as I was told. If I want her to be eating from the canteen, then I would have to pay daily, weekly, or however way I want. She's going to be given a coupon which every break time or lunch time she would present at the canteen, and she'll be giving food.